Franz Liszt was a regular visitor to Budapest. He composed and performed here and was always given a rapturous reception. This year's Budapest Spring Festival 2011 dedicates a modern opera to the virtuoso pianist and composer of the 19th century. The Thalia Theatre will host the world premiere of Excelsior, an opera commissioned in honor of Liszt by the Budapest Spring Festival. The protagonist of the opera is a composer called Franz Liszt, who wants to marry. The wedding plans are foiled and Liszt turns to religion. The plot is a mix of historical fact and fictitious elements. The music pays homage both to Franz Liszt and his contemporary Richard Wagner. Excelsior was composed by Gyula Fekete from Hungary. He worked on his opera for 3 years and wrote it in 2 acts. This is his 5th opera.
First, I thought that it was a very crazy idea, but the second thought was that, oh, well, why not? I mean, there is nothing greater than to write an opera for Franz Liszt.
Franz Liszt has always been revered in Budapest. Although he never really learned to speak Hungarian, he always felt a bond with Hungary. His compositions had elements of gypsy music that he considered typically Hungarian.
This is really electrifying now, so I have to release him. This is a kind of crazy image of him, but you can see and get some impression how he actually was. He speaks that original Hungarian language, musical language, that we grew up upon. So this is our root. We are from the same root. I mean, I don't want to compare myself to Liszt because he is the greatest, you know. But we share something still.
Besides his works and concerts, Franz Liszt also shaped Budapest's musical identity. He founded a music academy in 1875, which is still one of the most renowned international schools for budding musicians. Gyula Fekete himself studied at the Franz Liszt Academy of Music and has been teaching music composition there since 1997. As research for his opera Excelsior, Gyula Fekete often visited Franz Liszt's house, which is now a museum. He wanted to immerse himself in Liszt's life. The genius pianist traveled all over Europe, and wherever he went, he left his audience spellbound.
It was a very interesting time because he was able to use the media effectively. Newspapers were already spreading around, and before he arrived to a city, the papers were already writing about him. And when he actually arrived, there was a big thing about it. And when he entered to a salon, ladies were actually fainting, practically physically.
The Budapest Galleria explores the particular fascination of Franz Liszt for visual artists from all over Europe. They come from the many places where the musical genius left his mark. Their common interest, synesthesia. The pianist and composer could supposedly hear light and see sound.
This uncertain look from the aging genius towards the end of his life is perhaps Liszt questioning himself, whether he really ever saw music or just heard it.
Well, I Googled Franz Liszt and found out that he traveled a lot. He was a self-driven man, a restless soul, and I found him a home again. If you're lucky, perhaps you'll see him in Budapest. If not, then I don't know. Maybe you'll find him in Paris.
The exhibition Viva Liszt, Hear the Light, See the Sound is open till April 3rd, when the Budapest Spring Festival in the Hungarian capital comes to an end. Then it'll set off on a European tour, just as Franz Liszt once did.